People are finally starting to realize that the economy is not breaking by accident. It's restructuring human behavior. And
Quiet reorganization is taking over rural America.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields. And interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube. And fade to black, yeah, the truest you. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual Clarence 13X, a worthy guest. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree in the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death is forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
Just check out the brand.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Bless.
From TV.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, 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 welcome to another episode of Melanin Mondays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. And that tune that you just heard, ladies and gentlemen, that is Theta Waves featuring the Twin Pillars, all right? That right there is Theta Waves featuring the Twin Pillars, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are in the building. Shout out to everybody pulling up on this good Monday. All right. How many of y'all was in 363 Empire just now and got the opportunity to check out the video that we just debuted and whatnot? Shout out to 363 Empire. We had a great time yesterday or rather this whole weekend or this strong end. We had a great time at the Malcolm X Fest in the ATL. All right. A lot of people, I got to see a lot of people. Shout out to Source Guard, shout out to Survey, shout out to Blue Pill. We were able to perform. Shout out to Indigo Bang. Everybody that pulled up. There was a lot of people in the building. Jefferson, definitely. Spence City. Shout out to Hit Sayu. Shout out to Mac. My bro Mac came from all the way from New York. Shout out to Sutek. I saw Sutek. We was chopping it up all weekend. Shout out to Bob, the OG, over the Juneteenth. We made some major moves with Brother Bob and whatnot. All right. Shout out to Coach. Everybody who I saw yesterday. There's so many names to name. Shout out to the Ring Guards. Shout out to Olu with the crowns. I feel bad because if I forget somebody, Royal Immortal, Ghetto Shaman, the legend. Yeah, man. If I forget somebody, they're gonna take it personal. Shout out to Andre 360 and Young Dahootie. We did a dope you know how they have drop the mic performances, like how they have the microphone performances. Yeah, we did some dope sessions yesterday. So everybody that was a part of that, eBase, thank you for sending the MP3. Everybody that was a part of the drop down mic sessions, legends. Yeah, we cooked on those. I can't wait to see the edited versions and whatnot. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Mondem is working, man. Yeah. Once again, I said it yesterday. You know, I talk crazy about Atlanta, but it's always good when I see people from the city and whatnot that I haven't seen in a while. It's always good to see people from this community. It's always good to see people looking healthy and wealthy in the West End. You know, I'm talking about. I am rooting for your success. I hope all of y'all get everything that y'all came to Atlanta to get. You dig? Yeah, I'm talking about. And I hope that you never end up on the opposite spectrum of your journey where you wind up on Hulu or you wind up the talk of the town where people are just, speaking about you. But when they talk about you, they got to say pause or they got to say, damn, I wonder what happened to them. You know, quiet as kept. I did not have a lot of conversations while in the park going very deep about the talk of the town, the talk that everybody's been talking about, and that would be that situation with Eligio Bishop. I saw the Bishop of Crunk. Shout out to the Bishop of Crunk. But we had some slight talks, but it wasn't a big talk. But what was understood and what was definitely known is that there's going to have to be a broader and a bigger conversation, a more detailed, introspective, community-based conversation in the very near future. Not to, I mean, like before the end of this month. There's gonna have to have we need to have like a town hall type of meeting. Um, because the Nature Boy documentary is we're gonna go over some things tonight. A few videos came across my timeline, and I was like, you know what? Let me just continue having this conversation and whatnot. If you notice, on some OG shit, I'm not one of these young boys. I'm not out here clout chasing. I'm not trying to go viral and whatnot. I'm not clip farming. So on this platform, where the majority of the people on this platform are considered to be young elders and whatnot, there's a different type of stance that we're gonna take. We're not gonna throw that man under the bus. We not, I could spend a whole literally if I wanted to get in my comedy bag, if I wanted to get in my red pill, super duper vitriol, red chakra type of shit. If I wanted to turn the fire on and get in my Aries bag, oh man, we can have an Eligio Bishop, eulogy. Like, I'm talking about? I got 3 hours of like, I'm talking about a 50 clip, you know what I mean? With another banana, I'm talking about? Like, I could unload on this boy and eat. I'm not even, yeah, we could do a Kevin Hart roast on this nigga, but not just him, the whole squad, because they think that they got away with some shit. I seen them. You know what I'm talking about? I see one of them is online trying to be a comedian. I think his name is True out of the bunch. The nigga named True. He's funny and whatnot, but nigga, you're not that funny. Slow down, buddy. You know what I'm talking about? Because I saw you with toes in your mouth, my nigga. Now, you know what I mean? You like that cartoon where the nigga be you remind me of Friday with Red, when he was like, yeah, when Debo go away, he was like, you feel me? You talk crazy about Debo when that nigga go and get on that bike, but you ain't had nothing to say when Debo was all in your motherfucking mouth, my nigga. He had his toes in your mouth. Like, yeah, you could take the comedic route. We gotta laugh to stop from crying. But nigga, you took the stand. Like, what's really good, bro? You know what I'm talking about? All of the niggas that took the stand and had toes in their mouth, yeah, I could take about 3 hours out of my day and give their ass a Kevin Hart roast. Get your ass over here, Velvet. Yeah, Malia, you too. You know what I'm talking about? The whole crew. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. I'm ready to cook. But I won't do that. I'm gonna be responsible. I'm gonna be the adult in this situation. And we'll take more of an introspective approach. Yeah, mine had toes in his mouth. Yeah. Nature Boy was ordering niggas on command to suck his toes. This is on Hulu, nigga. Yeah. This is inside of households right now. Yeah. So, but guess what? I want to approach it from more of a mature perspective. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna gang up on them boys. I'm talking about I'm not gonna be a part of the gang crew. You don't even need me. The joke is giving its own performance. You don't even need Mr. Red Pill. The jokes are writing themselves when you watch. I finally finished the series. We'll do the roll call before we get out of here. I mean, but we found ourselves, we jumped right into the shit. I finally finished. Now, for anybody watching the YouTube 50-part series, the whole 50 piece, the 50 clip, you ain't seen nothing until you get to the end, my friend. I thought, sure, you ain't seen nothing till you get to the where are they now part. You know what I mean? It's the where are they now that's the real tragedy. Because the majority of them boys is unhoused and whatnot. The whole crew was unhoused. They don't have nowhere to go. They was squatting and whatnot. Then the young boy Solar, right? The nigga that looked like he live in Bikini Bottoms, he wound up trying to be a drug dealer. Not just a regular drug dealer. Like, you could have stayed in zone 6 and moved some elbows, nigga. You could have stayed. You went across the pond, nigga. What are we talking about? This man went to the UK to sell weed, bro. You're bringing weed from Texas to the United Kingdoms? Somebody needs to get this boy a head check, bro. Like, come on, fam. Even Nature Boy ain't that stupid. What the fuck? And then you got on the stand. You was another one that took, nigga, you got on the stand and you had the caucasity and the audacity. I know you got some 2% milk in your system. You had the audacity after all of that. You went and got his BM pregnant. What's her name? Velvet. You went and had a child with her. That was his wife, right? You know what I'm talking about? And then you went and sold weed in the UK. Come on, fam. Lock this nigga up. Like, come on, fam. You told. You was with Jaguar Wright, nigga. You was a part of the Jaguar Wright saga, fam. I was supposed to be I forgot what I was supposed to be. I'm supposed to be the elder in this shit. No, fuck that. I'm talking to this nigga like I'm his grandfather. Nigga, you was not only a part of the Jaguar Wright shit, you was there when she put her child's ashes on her face. I remember that. You was a part of that shit where you was with her married woman. Her husband beat you up on live, put pause on your ass, put pause on you, got her triggered. She went in her car and got her son's ashes that was like in a canister and threw that shit on the niggas in the barbershop, but then she rubbed it on your face, fam. Yeah, on your face. You on your face, nigga. On a nigga that went and took the trial and took the stand against Eligio Bishop, but he had his toes in your mouth, family, and you talking greasy on the internet, to a nigga who put his toes in your mouth. Come on, what are we talking about? This shit is crazy. Let's go to the 85ers. So you don't know that it's just me that's triggered. I'm triggered, man. I'm triggered. You said, where's the link? I thought everybody knew about this 50-part series. Cause I promise you, if I talked to 5 people yesterday, 3 of them was talking about this shit. I thought everybody was talking about it, bro. Because this is the illest. This is some ill shit. This is some ill shit. You should. I'm not gonna say. Son said, "Don't watch it." I gotta give the disclaimer that the hood horrors. It's a hood horror. It is a hood horror. You said nobody in your circle is talking about it. Well, I'm in Atlanta, unfortunately. You know what I mean? In Atlanta, you know, they talk about shit out here, bro. Atlanta is with the shits. When it comes to whatever's going on, Atlanta is talking about it. But here's my disclaimer. I'm not shitting you. I watched it so you don't have to. But I would tell anybody that's really serious about getting like in this community where you're going to meet different people and you're going to see things online that you might not understand, you might need to watch this for the psychological profiling that might have to take place moving forward, because you're going to run into characters like this. Mark my words. Chances are you're going to run into characters like this. You feel me? And you need to be on point when you run into characters like this. And you need to know who was a part of that movement, because they still outside moving around. I wrote everybody's name down. I'm like, shit, I wrote everybody's name down. I wrote their government down and they nature boy names. They you know what I mean? I wrote their YouTube names and all of that. I'm like, shit. If a nigga ever called me and is like, yo, and that name is on the other line, I'm banging on them. I don't want to talk. Was it a cult? Shit, can a bird fly? Hell yeah. It's this is only for precautionate. You got to sage your eyeballs. I'm telling everybody, if you watch it, you got to get the stingless honeybee in your eyes afterwards. Dead ass. You got to do the stainless honeybee, right? In your eye. Because you're going to have nightmares. For real. You're going to have nightmares. I promise you. That's how dark this shit is. It gets dark, though. It gets dark. So if you just want to stick to the hood shit, you stick to the hood shit. The hood shit is dark. Like, if anybody went down the Julio Fulio rabbit hole because they got the young boy, you know, I just talked about this on Black Magic. I was in Jacksonville when they sentenced the killers of Julio Fulio when they got guilty on 74 charges. I was out there for that, right? So I'm like, yeah, I know about that Jacksonville drill shit, and it's very dark and it's very demonic. Them little niggas are demonic over there in Jacksonville. I shit you not. You don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But this rabbit hole is different with Eligio Bishop, because he was basically a part. He's not a part of the conscious community, unlike what people try to judge. They try to paint him at. He wasn't. He was more of a spinoff. And I guess because Sarnetta interviewed him a few times, people would assume, but no, let's be clear. Never participated in one lecture, never participated in one debate, never was in Harlem for more than 1 hour. He sat on Sarnetta's couch, but he wasn't outside putting in no work. He didn't put in no type of research work. He started a fringe, what is called a fringe movement. Yeah, he sat on that couch. And I guess that's all it takes. Moving forward, that's kind of all it takes. he hopped on that motherfucking couch one time, and after that, he was lit. And that's the naivety of the people, but also the naivety of a Sarnetta. And it's the naivety of damn near everybody who has a camera and who's considered a kingmaker. You better run everybody through you better vet every single Negro that you put in front of them cameras, and you better run their background. Dead ass. Cause that whole allure of niggas coming, yeah, I beat a body and whatnot, and now I'm a teacher. You know what, fam? Respectfully, because even with Eligio, it wasn't like he had a criminal record. He wasn't never in jail before. Because when I was listening to they gave that nigga life, right? And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't think that he should have got life. That white woman gave that nigga life because he said the black man was God. Let's be clear. I don't feel like he deserved life. He deserves to sit his ass down and get his mind right. But life, natural life, meaning that you're gonna die in jail, and life, nah. That ain't. I'm not co-signing that. I ain't co-signing that. The nigga was on some demon time for real. He was a demon. He's on demon time. He got stabbed 9 times inside of jail, and his lung almost collapsed. He got banged up behind the wall already. You know what I'm talking about? He's getting his licks, but life, he didn't catch no bodies. They got him for grape, and apparently in Georgia, and I didn't, and I had no idea. In Georgia, you get life for grape. Why? What the fuck? You know how many women is out here getting violated, nigga? In Georgia? I had no idea. And if that's the case, well, they need to send them the motherfucking street sweeper and clean this dirty ass city up. You know what I mean? But yeah, they gave his ass life. You know what I'm talking about? And the judge was watching his videos. You know, they you know why they gave him life. Because they was tapped in. They gave the judge like a special folder on him. He had agents on his case for years. You know what I mean? But they wasn't trying to, they was focusing on the message. They didn't, all of that. They was packing them up and moving them out of different countries because he had that PDF shit on his jacket, right? And but did anybody from the Epstein get life? You know what I'm saying? Just on some comparison shit. Did anybody from that fucking Epstein list get life? They allegedly eating babies and shit. I didn't hear about him eating no babies. You know what I'm talking about? He was eating a lot of other things, but it wasn't no babies and whatnot. So they hit his ass with life. And yeah, he was misleading the people. And like I said on yesterday's show, that was the ancestors, in my humble opinion, that gave him the smackdown. That was mostly the ancestors that gave him the smack. He was violating God's children. One of them girls, you know what I mean? He's violating God's children. Either one of them niggas that was sucking on his toes, or somebody in that household was one of the chosen ones. And he fucked around and found out, yeah, but yeah, it's crazy, But when you hear the Europeans say the woke mind virus, write that down. woke mind virus. And when they say that they're in a culture war, when DeSantis out of Florida, and when Stephen Miller, and when the Trump administrations says that they're in a culture war, understand that that's who they're talking about. You understand? Understand Eligio Bishop was on their radar for many, many years. It's a few of them that they've been watching. You know what I'm talking about? But he was one of them. And when they start saying things about the woke mind virus, and they have this whole campaign where they're pushing back and they're censoring things, and yeah, they're talking about 2017, 18, 19, and 2020 consciousness, and that was all of the young boys going wild and whatnot, because their information was spilling over into the white world. You know what I mean? Pharaoh, Jamal Rashad, Nature Boy. Go and look at their cases, and there's always some white folks or some fringe ass white followers attached to that shit doing goofy shit. You know? You watch the hood horrors and you think that it's an attack. How can it be an attack? These stories are just, I seen a Polite documentary, and I saw the Nature Boy. Dude is not, he's not necessarily coming with an angle. He's literally presenting the information. He's literally just rolling out the. I didn't watch the Hulu documentary because I feel that that's for the public. That's for like the Caucasian audience. I don't even need to watch it. I watch the YouTube shit. You know? But they are when they say culture war, that's what they're talking about. Not even Black Lives Matter, for that matter. They're not worrying about that Black Lives Matter shit. As you can see, that shit defeated itself. They're at war with niggas that are out here talking about that they God. That's what the culture war is going against. They are at war with the people who are considered the David Wilcox and them was talking about the superhumans or the ultra terrestrials and everything, the P-45s. And there's niggas out here saying that they're aliens and they are the extraterrestrials. Yeah, they're at war with them. That's who they at war with. They at war with these cults. They at war with these movements, these squatters and whatnot. It's a soft war, it's a proxy war. It's not a war, it's a proxy war, but they said it out their mouth. Them people said it out their mouth. You feel me? So yeah. Let's go to some of these reaction videos and whatnot. He got the 85ers in an uproar.
Hey, look, man. I know the world all over the place right now. We caught up in a lot of shit, man. We caught up in Kevin Hart just had his roast. People type about that. The coronavirus, nigga, the Disney ship with it, the cruise, the Drake albums dropped, all that shit. I just got one question. Why we ain't talking about this nigga right here? Why we ain't talking about Nature Boy? Do y'all know what the fuck they was doing over there in them bushes, man? I had no idea. Why y'all ain't tell me? I don't want y'all to think I'm making fun of this shit, because I'm not, bro. But this is, without a doubt, the best goddamn documentary right now on Hulu. I swear on everything I love. They gave this nigga life without the possibility of parole. This nigga didn't kill nobody. This nigga didn't pay for no flight for nobody to come see him. This nigga ain't put no gas in nobody car for them to pull up. They pulled up on their own free will, and this nigga got life without the possibility of parole.
Crazy.
I'm not defending none of that shit he did over there, because that shit was crazy. But dog, if a duck could pull a truck, hook his ass up. I'ma just say that. This nigga got people giving them their credit card. They can't talk to their family. This nigga fucking your bitch, all type of shit. This shit, gang over there fucking the shit out of everybody, man. This nigga different. This a different type of pimping, but this nigga ain't gorilla pimping, but this nigga around now street pimping or something ain't right, but Life without the possibility. Let me tell you, I'm gonna just give y'all a little bit of what this nigga did real quick, just to give you a little list. This nigga had people eating watermelon, shitting, picking watermelon seeds out of the shit and plant a watermelon tree. And the shit grows. I know when they see that, they like, oh yeah, boy, you know what you talking about? We lost it. Bro, please take the time out your life, bro, and go watch this fucking documentary, man. This nigga was right here in Atlanta when that shit ended, bro. God, this, hey, listen here. This might be right up under Brian Nichols right here. Gang had a whole coat out this motherfucker. Sex coat. Huh? I can't get a bitch send me $100 right now, let alone goddamn give me her credit card. Oh my, boy over there tearing shit up. Boy over there fucking shit down. You understand me? Where he at right now, he probably, yeah. Go watch this shit, man.
Of a nature boy. Y'all cannot tell me. Y'all let this man who looks fucking dirty, I mean nasty, homeless, dirty bitch, tell you that you was gonna go to hell if you didn't listen to him? Well, I'd have said, call a motherfucking Uber. Tell that bitch come pick me up now. Bring me there now. Tell the devil himself to come pick me up now. If you think I'm gonna listen to you. You know, black people, be fucking for real. I promise you, there's no motherfucking way a dirty ass nigga in the motherfucking forest could tell me, come live with me. Life gonna be fucking better, bitch, in the motherfucking forest. You ain't got no fucking shoes on. You're walking around the motherfucking forest with no fucking shoes on for all I can live under the bridge in New Orleans. Can't no fucking body ever convince me to go be one with nature. Me and Mother Nature ain't really rocking with each other once a fucking month. So I really don't fuck with that bitch enough to be wanting to live out there in the woods with her. And the way these people let this nigga fuck with their mind, I'm not letting no dirty looking ass nigga fuck with my mind and tell me I'm gonna go to hell if I don't listen to him. Call the motherfucking Uber. What time can I book my flight to hell? Cause you got to know I'm not listening to you. And this nigga had a hand problem, like really, really bad. I was just fucking mind blown at the abuse this nigga caused and the fact that this was the P. Diddy of fucking nature. But you know who need to be in jail behind all this bullshit other than his nasty ass? Was the people that don't need it. How the fuck are you gonna tell me you one with nature, bitch? And like the fucking documentary said, bitch, you're in a motherfucking Airbnb. What type of nature is that? Girl, be fucking for real. This nigga was not no fucking one with nature. He was giving the backyard again friends. And like, sis, you really hurt my motherfucking heart.
She said the backyard. Did you just say the backyardigans and friends? She called that nigga the P. Diddy and
Cause the fact that you from New Orleans, boy, this shit had me hot. But I'm so happy that you got up it and you're doing better. Whole fucking group confused me. You bitches was nature content creators. Not to call y'all, all y'all name. I'm just saying embarrassing because we don't do this weird ass shit. You know what I'm saying? The whole doing the P. Diddy freak parties and the fucking nature and then slapping bitches, knocking bitches out and then controlling men. It's fucking diabolical. If you have not fucking seen this shit, I don't know if you should fucking watch it because it's gonna piss you off because it sure pisses me the fuck off. If I was one of those people, which I probably would have never, because you could never convince me to go in a damn forest and live there. I just can't. I love a good air conditioned home, okay? And I like wearing shoes and shit in the toilet, okay? But anyway, if I was one of the people that had joined this fucking cult, would have snapped me right the fuck up out of it, was when you join, they're going to ask you for your debit card or credit cards or any type of money that you have. Like, them niggas gonna ask for payment up front. Would have sent me packing because bitch ain't giving up this card. Ain't giving up this card. Ain't giving up the debit. For fuck's sake, ain't giving up the fucking credit. You got me fucked up. I thought we was one with nature. What the fuck my green got to do with your green? You worry about the grass that is fucking green, not my motherfucking green in my pocket. They got a bank of nature? What the fuck do y'all need to have my money for? That would have set me off the edge, so I'd have turned right the fuck back around. But when that fucking man, the group said they had went to a fucking mall, bitch, and went purchase a fucking ping pong table, bitch, was just pulling from the fucking piles of credit cards and debit cards that they had. And they pulled his card, bitch, and it was $800. You just bought a ping pong table? That was $800 on my motherfucking card? I'd have snatched that fucking card, bitch, and would have got the fuck. Because you got me bent. What is you doing? Y'all supposed to be one with nature, bitch. You better pull from a motherfucking tree and make you a motherfucking ping pong table. You ain't about to use my motherfucking card behind you, an $800 ping pong. Boy, what? Yeah, that'll send me. Bitch, I'd have snapped right the fuck up out of it real quick. It don't take much. It don't take much, because taking my money is enough to snap me up out of anything.
Name Eligio Bishop. He called himself a spiritual leader. He called himself God. He said he was a chief. He built his following online. Anything about cults fascinates me because I just don't understand how things like this could happen. Do these leaders really truly believe that they are God or that they are anointed? Or do they just know that they have some sort of mind control over people? How and why do the followers listen to these people speak and think, I'm going to do whatever he tells me to do? So this documentary is called The Cult of Nature Boy. Initially, he was promoting a back to nature lifestyle, and he and a bunch of his followers were living in Costa Rica, but they overstayed their welcome because
Yo, that picture is wild right there, bro. Just stare at that shit for a minute, boy. Yo, that picture is crazy, B. They all famous, though. You know what I'm talking about? They got what they wanted. They all famous now. God damn it, they all famous. I can't wait for the club walkthroughs. That's coming. They're gonna be on some flyers in a minute.
their visas had expired. He built
They might even be on Zeus. Fuck around. You know what I'm talking about? Fuck around. They might be on the Bad Girls Club or something. You know what I mean?
a community of followers, and he called them the Melanation. And they were just getting kicked out of every country. So eventually they moved back to the States, but they went to Hawaii. And this was during the lockdown. So they all got arrested, or he got arrested, and they had to leave. He goes to California, then he ends up in Georgia. Again, this entire time, he is saying that he's God. He tells his followers that he was born in Harlem. He was a nighttime ballerina. He had done some corn, if you know what I'm saying. He told his followers that he had a terrible life until he found nature. And everything was fine and dandy. People came. They started having babies with each other. He was marrying them. And then God told him that he should be with every single woman. Because of course he did. He starts abusing the chiefess. Okay, her name is Velvet. Mind you, this whole time he's streaming everything. And I believe all of his followers are giving him tons and tons of money. He live streams the birth of his child. And then he's live streaming arguments with her where he gets physical. The psychosis of this entire group starts getting more and more intense. And he starts preaching, you need to be abusive to women to make sure that they stay in line. Yep, there were male followers, and they say that they just watched it. And they truly just believe that she was out of line and he was putting her back in check. He at one point told the male followers that they needed to drink his juices, if you know what I'm saying. And most of them did it. Eventually, the chiefess runs away with her kid or kids, and then another female follower decides that she wants to leave. He grapes her. And then he posts revenge corn on the Bird app. She goes to the cops. He is arrested and convicted of grape, false imprisonment, and revenge corn. And he gets life without the possibility of parole. I was just watching this entire thing with my jaw on the floor. Have you watched it? Do you plan to watch it? It is on Hulu or Disney Plus. And please, someone recommend another mind-blowing cult documentary, please.
As you can see, I'm just showing you the consensus of what we call the 85ers. This is not conscious people that are reacting. This is the public. This is the general public. This is the niggas amongst us, right? So now two things are forming. They developed an appetite, right, for more conscious content, right? But they don't want conscious content about somebody, you know, who's doing good. They don't want that. They want the salacious consciousness, because salacious consciousness, that's a whole genre. I would say that it spins out of the it spins out of the lower rungs of consciousness. Like when the energy started getting niggardly, this is the residue of that. This is the residue of that. If the standards remained at a certain heights, a nature boy would have never ever been able to walk through the door. If you understand what I'm telling you, if the standards remained at a certain height, he would never have been able to walk through that door. He would not. He would have been one of the people in the audience that had to do that was working on themselves, because that's what takes place. A lot of people are working on themselves, but he was able to move around he was able to go through the side door, and he was able to move around and do things. So now people have an appetite for more conscious salaciousness, though. Like they just want the tea. They don't want none of, they want to get into the tea and whatnot. And it also casts a lot of people in a bad light who the public does not understand, because consciousness and people that are conscious are not necessarily understandable. There's not a book that you could read to basically give you an understanding. It's something like you have to be in it to understand what it is and who it is and what it's not and things of that nature. But what they're doing now, and what white people do, and what I've said before, I said that what they do is they identify. They don't have a problem with who you are, as long as they could put you in a box, as long as they can identify you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Nature Boy and Melanation, you've been identified. That might not be who you are, but that's how they're gonna identify you. The 85ers, the dumb, deaf, and blind who don't want to take no time to learn who you are, they'll sit and watch 50 parts of a documentary series and then say, oh, that's them niggas over there. Now I know who they are. Oh, that's them dashiki, that's them septum ring, that's them grand rising ass niggas. They all doing that. That's what they all on. Oh, no wonder they don't want to practice Thanksgiving and Christmas. They in the woods pooping and whatnot, having sex with each other. The people who you berated at the cookout because they was cooking pork and chitlins and beef, yeah, they gonna say, oh nah, that they're gonna watch the documentary, they're gonna be like, nigga, that's you. So just know that. I'm just giving you some insight. That's how they identify you. They never seen the likes of a Nature Boy or the Melanate. That they're using this. They're using this. White America is using this documentary to identify you conscious niggas. So when you get on the planes and them airports and they staring at you and they looking at you crazy and whatnot, it's because they was binging on this nigga right here. And now, yeah, go on the airplane wearing your motherfucking chief hat. Go wear your teeth. Go and wear your feathers on the plane. Go wear your feathers. They're gonna swear that they know you now. They're gonna swear that they know you now. Sisters with the septum rings and whatnot, in the conscious names and whatnot, with the arm cuffs, the copper arm cuffs, with the motherfucking tattoos on under your, with the Heru tattoos under your eye. Yeah, they're gonna act like they know you now. They're gonna be like, do you need to use the bathroom outside, or you know what I'm saying? Just get ready for that. Because that's how they do our people. They identify us by the worst of our, but they identify us by the worst of our behaviors. When we are standing upright and when we are in our higher selves, they can't stand to stand next to us. They can't even let alone look at us. You vibrating too high for them. You shining too bright. They don't deal with us in that state. They only deal with us in our lower state. They can only deal with us after we fall to a state where they could look down at us and they could talk down at us. This nigga is low-hanging fruit. So he is the catalyst to how they're going to move around and identify FBAs, conscious niggas, woke niggas, whatever you call yourself. Just know where this is going to come to a fruition at. Okay, just understand the propaganda that they're putting out. That Hulu documentary is propaganda. Okay, The fact that they got all of these thought pieces and whatnot, it is propaganda. Understand that the state, when they gave this nigga life, they were sending out a signal to the rest of them niggas on Bigo, the rest of them niggas on IG, YouTube, and everywhere else that's trying to move like that and has the audacity to try to build a motherfucking cult and not pay Uncle Sam his taxes and not be a part of the Matrix. Yeah, they got thrown off the airplane because they said that they was stinking and whatnot. So you go on an airplane with no deodorant. You want to go on an airplane and you smelling like a 3-day-old Panani wrap, nigga, then you're gonna get packed up. And just know why you're getting packed up off the Greyhound. Know why they're gonna take you off a Frontier and whatnot, because they already have deemed this group shot to the top of the list of undesirables, my nigga. This group and their look and what they stand for shot to the top of the list of undesirable niggas. I promise you. Look at the propaganda taking place. Look at the propaganda. It's not even about Nature Boy no more. It's his archetype. It's his image. And it's any one of these groups running around talking about their God, their sovereign. We not with the system. We not in the Matrix, because the language was all throughout the documentary. All of the trigger words. It's all there. Yeah, I seen the father and he died. The father was going after that girl. What's her name? Velvet. Her fucking dad. Her fucking dad died trying to get her back, bro. She may be the most tragic, or the second more tragic. I mean, homie is the tragic. He's the tragic more. You know, his tragedy started in foster care though. How about that? Yeah, the father died. Yeah, the father, he made transition. He didn't see Nature Boy get locked up. He wasn't there to see the father of his grandchild, because that's the father of his granddaughter. You know what I mean? That's the father of his granddaughter. He probably died of a heart attack. The girl was breaking his heart. The daughter was breaking his heart. You know what I'm saying? He trying to put on for his daughter. She out there keep going back to this nigga. That shit would have wait. I got a daughter. I could imagine what that would do to my heart if I gotta go through that. I'm catching the body. I'm not playing with no nigga. Yeah. Make a bunk for me, nigga. I'm coming through. You know what I'm talking about? Make a bunk for me, bro. I'm not playing. You're not gonna do my daughter like that. And homie, he kind of looked like he was ready to put in that work too. He was looking like he was ready to crash for her. You know what I'm saying? He did look like he was ready to crash. But yeah, he unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? He didn't yeah, he didn't make it. You know? He didn't make it. And I'm sad about that. But yeah, she is man, her story, the way that she was moving super sloppy. For real. I don't know what the hell was going on with sis. But she was moving wacky, and she was moving sloppy, and she was moving choppy. She's on her 5th child. Lord have mercy. She's still moving sloppy. Nigga said she on her 5th child, bro. What are we talking about? Like, and I'm not here to judge nobody. Like, I hate the fact that I even know as much as I know about people's personal lives like that. Like, real, you know what I mean? Like, this is almost like, this is like an intrusion on people's lives. But once you in, my nigga, you in. Like, it's sticky. Once you locked in on this shit, you gonna be locked in. I couldn't put the damn YouTube down, bro. I couldn't put the YouTube down. I was like, what do we have here? You know? But yeah, and anytime you got somebody fighting against you and they cross over, you either you need to stop what you're doing or be very mindful that you'll have somebody extremely powerful working against you. You feel me? So maybe the minute he crossed over, he started putting in that spiritual work. But this thing that he has, I feel that it's a spiritual sentence. You know, I feel that he is
This
is a
cannot
spiritual
be real
sentence,
life, was
spiritually
all I
that
kept
he's
thinking
being
while watching this
cooked.
documentary. But guess what?
You cannot go crazy on the chosen people like that. You can't do that to God's children. It's just I have not seen, you know, it's just, man. It's yeah. You binge watched it before I knew. You know, I was binge watching Michael Nowak's documentary, and I saw the Nature Boy shit, but then I saw that it was 50 parts to it. And I say, yeah, I don't got all of that time. Impossible. I'll never have that much time. I'm like locked in. I'm in school. I'm enrolled in a semester. I'm in like 3 different online academies. You feel me? And I got a bunch of things that I'm like, I don't got no time for that. Nigga, I watched episode 1. I had time for all 50, bro. I found time. The Michael Nowak documentary is crazy by itself. It's crazy by itself. I think Polite got like 30 parts, but he don't got shit on Nature Boy. You know, a whole 50 piece. Man, we're gonna keep talking about it too until I do a panel. I need to do a panel. I need some consensual adults to get on this motherfucking panel, and we need to unpack this shit. You know, we need to talk. You know what I'm talking about? We need to have some intellectual dialogue, some diatribe and whatnot, you know? But let us continue. Let's see what the damn Republicans are talking about. So while we're talking about criminal activities in our community, let's take a peep at what they're doing in their communities, the criminals that are in Congress.
Well, look, you know, the salary of Congress has been frozen since 2009. You know, when you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than they made in that year. It goes down every year. And over time, if you stay on this trajectory, you're going to have less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme sacrifice to run for Congress. I mean, it's just people just make a reasonable decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, have a residence here, residence at home, and do all the things that are required. So the counter argument is, and I have some sympathy, look, at least let them like engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to, you know, take care of their family.
So in so many words, this man got up here in front of the world, right, and said that Congress needs to engage in some insider trading in order to feed their mother effing family. Bro, are you dumb? People go to jail for that. Are you dumb, bro? Like, he literally got up there and just said that with his chest out. Fam, man. Let us continue.
Prove it! Look at what's happening simultaneously. Yo, people are finally starting to realize that the economy is not breaking by accident. It's restructuring human behavior, and these charts prove it. Look at what's happening simultaneously. Inflation projected back above 5%. Student loan default hitting historic highs. The average person defaulting is now almost 40 years old, bro. China is still maintaining leverage over critical supply chains while politicians call weak negotiations victory. And meanwhile, Bitcoin wipes out $500 million in leverage positions in under an hour. This is not random volatility anymore. This is systemic psychological destabilization. Because eventually you have to ask, what happens to a population forced into permanent financial pressure for years straight? They stop thinking long term. That's what fucking happens, bro. People in survival mode don't build empires, they don't innovate. They don't challenge systems. They don't trust intuition. They become reactive. Emotionally exhausted people become easier to manage. And you can literally see it happening right now. People are working harder than ever while feeling more hopeless than ever. They're overstimulated, dopamine addicted, financially trapped, spiritually numb. And the media keeps trying to convince them the economy is strong. No wonder people feel like reality itself is gaslighting them. Comment scroll if it feels like society is becoming psychologically impossible to sustain. Because the people noticing this first are usually the people whose nervous system stopped trusting the illusion years ago. And like, here's the part almost nobody is ready to say out loud yet. This is not just economic decline. It is behavioral engineering. If housing becomes unattainable, people rent forever. If debt becomes permanent, people stay obedient. If inflation stays high enough, people never accumulate assets. If people stay overstimulated enough, they never emotionally stabilize long enough to see the structure clearly. That's why anxiety is exploding, why depression is exploding, why burnout is exploding. Humans are trying to psychologically survive inside systems that increasingly reward dependency instead of sovereignty. Deep down, people can fucking feel that, bro. But this next part is where the timeline split actually fucking happens. Some people are going to spend the next few years getting emotionally absorbed deeper into distraction, fear, financial stress, dopamine addiction, and survival loops. And some people are going to realize the entire game changes the moment you stop consuming reality passively. That's what the scroll actually is. Pattern recognition. Seeing the emotional, financial, and psychological loops shaping your life before they become your permanent identity. Because once you see the fucking pattern, you stop asking, how do I survive the system? And you start asking, who do I become outside of it? And honestly, that question is going to define the next decade. Because the people who learn to regulate their nervous system, reclaim their attention, and see through the manipulation patterns early are going to navigate this completely differently than everyone else. Comment scroll if your nervous system has been telling you modern life is becoming psychologically unsustainable long before the headlines caught up.
Quiet reorganization is taking over rural America, and you probably never heard of it. Larry Bender has been the supervisor of Tremont, Pennsylvania for 40 years, a town of 300 people. Larry voted for Trump, but his loyalty did not protect him. Larry found out from a Facebook post that ICE had quietly bought the biggest building in his town, converting it into a detention center for 7,500 people. A town of 300 about to wake up 25 times its size overnight. And the warehouse sits 300 yards from the only daycare in town. Imagine, the local kids playing outside while families being separated inside scream through the walls. Tremont is not alone. The Washington Post obtained a leaked plan, 24 warehouses across America for $38 billion, all bought in secret. A Maryland warehouse already running has 4 toilets and 2 water fountains for 1,500 detainees. How is this legal? They are using a Navy contract designed for emergency tents in war zones to skip the bidding process and the environmental reviews. So who's getting rich? When following the money, we find Geo Group, a private prison company. Last year, they posted $254 million in profit, a 700% increase. Geo and Core Civic gave Trump's campaign over $1 million. Tom Homan, Trump's border czar, took consulting checks from Geo before taking the job. Remember the Tremont warehouse? The county assessed it at $59 million, but the feds paid $119, twice the value, and no questions asked. 70% of the people locked inside these places have no criminal conviction. And the people running this playbook are betting that by the time you hear about yours, it will already be built.
Healthcare, because I'm having a dilemma of some sort. Is it possible for somebody to die twice? You know, like die a first time, come back to life, and then die a second time? Because the ISIS commander that Donald Trump is boasting to the world he got killed with the help of President Tinubu of Nigeria was already killed by the Nigerian government in 2024. So how can he be dead in May 2026? Somebody's lying. Let's get into it. Tonight, at my direction, brave American forces and the armed forces of Nigeria flawlessly executed a meticulously planned and very complex mission to eliminate the most active terrorist in the world from the battlefield. Abu Bilal al-Manuki, second in command of ISIS globally, thought he could hide in Africa, but little did he know we had sources who kept us informed on what he was doing. Really? What kind of raggedy ass sources do you have, Donald Trump, that failed to tell you that the Nigerian military declared ISIS commander al-Manuki dead in 2024, like 2 years ago? And that this commander was among terrorists neutralized during counter-terrorism operations conducted in northern Nigeria between January and March 2024 by the Nigerian Defense Headquarters. Hello. Because Trump, you weren't even president then. You weren't president in 2024. My recollection does not vary. So how can you possibly take credit for something you did not do and you were not involved in? I don't know. Somebody is lying somewhere. You gaslighting lying crooks even went to the extent to produce Hollywood next level video to show us the moment in May 2026 when al-Manuki is presumably destroyed. Very good Hollywood production. The word terrorist has lost all meaning when you can be a terrorist one day and next day you're in a photo op with the President of the United States, no less, at the White House. I mean, was he ever a terrorist? Did he stop being a terrorist? What changed? Somebody be lying. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I bet you're asking the only question you should be asking. Is Abu Bilal al-Manuki really dead? I'm good. See?
So yesterday I brought a video where we showed that they bombed Nigeria the other day. And President Trump, along with the president of Nigeria, were talking about they took out the leader of ISIS, or the second leader of ISIS. As you can see, the other leader of ISIS is now president of Syria, and he's inside of the White House taking pictures with Trump. But we already called out the BS. We identified everything that they got going on with Nigeria, with Liberia, any of the sellouts in Africa, any of the nations that are sellouts and whatnot that are aiding and abetting these vultures and these criminals. All of that is dealing with the Sahel region and the rise of Ibrahim Traore in the Sahel region. Okay, that's what all of these provocations that you see going on are basically dealing with, along with America, the USA, along with all of the colonizers locking all of the African nation states down, right? With 50-year, 100-year contracts, commitments, all of these deals that they coming out with this money, trying to sign them up for these health deals. They just want to play, they're playing colonizer monopoly and trying to get as many bootlicking African nations under the deodorant of Donald Trump and NATO and whatnot, because they see the continent beginning to collapse under the control of melanated men, wartime, war generals and whatnot. These are not collegiate American raised and bred second generation sellouts. No, these are warriors. These are army generals and whatnot. These are militants, and they're aligned with Vladimir Putin in them, so they don't necessarily need the firepower of the West. They're not afraid of the firepower, and of course, France is their number one op. They got France running. They got France with their tails tucked and whatnot. So all of the moves that you see going on is basically going to be dealing with that. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that the sister came out and even said that it's a crock of shit, because the same person that they said they killed the other day, They also said that they killed them 2 years ago. So they out here digging niggas up and re-killing them. You know? And yeah, we know that that's a crock of ish. We know that that's cap. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, let us continue going on. Let's tap into some Palantir talk.
Palo Alto office was at one point known as the Shire. The Virginia office was Rivendell, and the London office was Grey Havens.
Individual employees, they're sometimes called hobbits.
Just check out the branding for their latest convention. Someone owes the Tolkien estate a royalty check. And this obsession with the Lord of the Rings goes beyond just event branding and cute office names. It's a way for Palantir to create their own fellowship, rouse their workers, and reinforce their worldview.
That culture is honestly one of the strongest aspects of Palantir. It's what allows Palantir to continue doing its work without its employees questioning too much of the engagements it participates in.
This is Juan Sebastian Pinto, a former content strategist with Palantir, who had a seat inside the mysterious company.
Making your workforce imagine that they're continuing sort of the mission, a bigger mission, sort of a world mission as represented in Lord of the Rings.
Save the Shire was a pretty common refrain, and I guess by the Shire, they just mean the homeland. How Alex Karp defines the West, it means the US and its allies. And by Save the Shire, it means solving the most difficult problems that it's facing and about doing good for warfighters.
Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
This idea that Palantir talks a lot about of going from the battlefield to the boardroom is very appealing to CEOs and executives that really are willing to do whatever it takes to gain a competitive edge.
If Palantir sees itself as a powerful, all-seeing network that can peer into the future, influencing governments and military operations, that's even spookier than how I pictured the Palantir of Tolkien's books. And it's exactly the kind of thing that Tolkien was afraid of in the real world.
Here, Congress needs insider trading to feed their families. That is basically the argument they just made out loud. And if that sentence didn't make your nervous system recoil immediately, they're not grasping how insane this moment actually is. Look, members of Congress make $174,000 a year. The average American makes around $63,000. Federal minimum wage? Still $7.25 an hour. People can't afford groceries, rent, homes, children, healthcare, a single emergency without financial panic hitting their chest. And somehow, we are supposed to feel bad for Congress financially? But here's where people miss what's really happening. Because this isn't just greed anymore. It's system exposure. The political class is accidentally saying the quiet part out loud. The system is no longer designed to create upward mobility for the average person.
Here's Palo Alto.
Consolidate assets upward permanently. Homes, land, stocks, resources, political influence, corporate power. Everything concentrates higher. While the middle class gets psychologically and financially squeezed from both directions until it disappears. And people can feel this happening already. That's why anxiety is exploding, why doom scrolling is exploding, why hopelessness is exploding. Because millions of people subconsciously feel the ladder moving farther away in real time. Comment scroll if you feel like society crossed the line from capitalism to something way darker years ago. And now they're just saying it publicly. Because the scariest part is not the corruption. It's how normalized the corruption has become. Look at the psychological conditioning. You're told asking for fair wages is entitlement. While politicians discuss insider trading like it's financial survival, you're told work harder. While asset ownership becomes increasingly impossible for normal people, you're told inflation is unavoidable by the same people benefiting from the financial systems creating it. That's why people feel emotionally exhausted now, not weak. Exhausted. Because humans were never designed to live inside systems where effort and reward become psychologically disconnected for too long. Eventually, the nervous system starts recognizing the rigged game. And that's what people actually feel right now when they say society feels off. Not politics. Neofeudalism. A permanent political financial aristocracy at the top and a permanent dependent class underneath it. The scariest part, most people still think this is temporary. Comment scroll if you think the mask is slipping faster than the system can hide it now.
How many people in the chat would what she's talking about somewhat apply to? How many people feel like you were completely burnt out on this hamster wheel, basically running in place, not really getting anywhere, working only to pay bills, sort of like a vassal of the state, you know what I mean? Sort of like what would they call it? An indentured servant. How many people feel like that? Because I don't know the sentiments of the collective. I don't know how everybody is feeling financially and economically. And it's not just a financial economic thing. This is more of a this is more of a pressure that they're putting on the people, and they're feeling it in the pocket and whatnot. But you know, when you throw in the fact that time is speeding up, when you throw in the fact that we don't have 24 hours anymore, when you throw in the fact that, you know, our cells and our spirits, we actually feel that it's an end time cycle, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want you to be confused about what you may be feeling economically or just based off of the way that the economy is set up right now. I don't want you to confuse that feeling that you may have inside, that internal feeling, with the fact that you're responding to being on an end time timeline. Okay, so you're on an end time timeline. And the fact that I could prove that we're on an end time timeline is because they're working the script of the eschatology script. They're working the Antichrist script. They're working the apocalypse script. That's the script that they're working right now. That is actually the global script that they're playing right now. Okay, the three Abrahamic religions. And then when you look at the governments and whatnot, they're basically all in bed. So thank you everybody for responding to that question about how everybody is feeling and seeing things and experiencing this I would say this page that we're on, right? Then my next question would be, after identifying the pain points that everybody could, that everybody communicated and whatnot, do you feel, right? Not forget what you think. Do you feel that a solution can come through collective economics? Do you feel that a solution can come through collective economics? And when I say collective economics, I'm going to utilize a disclaimer and say, we're not talking about putting money in a shoebox and hiding it under somebody's bed and whatnot. We're speaking more so about taking advantage of the numbers that we have, right? Monetizing our numbers, right? How many people are, I would say, positive, or for that matter, optimistic, right? How many people are optimistic about the collective coming through and solving some of these problems? Because you know what they say, that the solution is in the people. You are who you've been looking for. Let me just say this, and I'm gonna say this before I say anything. What I will not be doing, and what I don't have on the list of solutions, and what I will not be doing is I will not be depending on the government to lift me out of any type of quote unquote hole that I might find myself in. You dig? What I won't be doing is I won't be turning to the government, and I won't be turning to Uncle Sam and I won't be turning to no pale people to feed me, to have mercy on me, and to put me in the front of the race. I'm not doing that. I'm not, I mean, I'm insane and whatnot, but I'm not crazy. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not crazy. I know through all of the years that we've been working together, I know through all of the years of me traveling up and down the corridors of the United States of America, and I know from being online that the power that we seek is in our own mother effing selves, right? People like Nature Boy is messing shit up because this is the opportune time for us to form an army and to form some type of an organization. I'm gonna say this as I continue. Yesterday, I was in the park. I was at the Malcolm X Park for the West End celebrations, right? We had the West End celebration and it was lit. And a lot of people came out and it was a good affair. You know, it was a good family affair and whatnot. Here's one of the pictures. I got a few more, but you know, we was out there clicked up, right? And I saw somebody out there, a young brother, and I'm not gonna put his name out there in the mix, but the young brother has, you know, what people may, if they looking at it from the outside looking in, they'll be like he has a cult, right? They'll be like, oh, this nigga has a cult because he literally had a group of people following him. They was all wearing the same colors and they were completely locked in. Like he had them walking in circles 7 times, and they was just locked in. Like they was locked in. It was some, you know what I mean? It was some straight up like, you know, if he would point at his finger and was like attack, them niggas was gonna attack. My thing is this. Moving forward, right? Thinking about what the world might fall into. Just looking at how, because you don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what, and I'm not gonna feed into no type of negativity because like I said, shit, we made it this far. The world was supposed to end about 20 different times. Civil war was supposed to happen. There was a bunch of things that was supposed to happen. So you don't know what the hell is gonna happen until it happens. You ain't gonna have me sitting up here talking about shit that's finna happen that did never happen. So nah, nothing is gonna happen. But what I do know is if something ever happens and we need an army and we need a group of men who are militant and we need some motherfuckers that will protect us. My $1,000,000 question is, how are we even going to form that type of standing army in the shadow of this cult, this documentary about this cult? Because a lot of people are going to be like, nigga, I'm not joining no type of I'm not joining no groups, no organizations. I ain't getting involved in nothing because I don't trust nothing. And I ain't trying to, you know what I mean? So I had to ask myself when I looked at what the brother was I looked at his organization and how they was moving, and I had to ask myself, as much as people may look down on that, because I seen how people was reacting and looking at the young brother like, oh, what the hell is going on with this? I would have to ask myself, would I want to be caught without an organization with me, or would I just want to be on my own, moving around? You know, collectively, I know that we have so much to offer each other. When I went to North Carolina for the 72 claws out there in North Carolina, and the family came out and whatnot, and we were basically teaching outdoors. They had the trailers set up, they had the tents, we had a shooting range, we had the ATVs, there was a lake and whatnot. Then when I went to Colombia and I was staying in the jungle and whatnot, or rather the rainforest, and it was similar. This was even a little bit more on the outdoor tip. You know what I mean? There was hammocks. We were sleeping in hammocks. We were outdoor. We had the campfire. We was, you know what I mean? It was just really on some outdoor off the grid. We ain't really rocking with society type shit. We was on that type of time. My thing is that may be a solution moving forward where we can literally cultivate any swath of land that we find ourselves on. We can do that. Like, don't you know, we got people that have the skill sets. We got access to the hardware to basically do all of these things. This is not difficult, but it's gonna take a lot of quote unquote. I mean, I don't. You know how the people are. Sometimes they have to be pushed to the edge before they break. And I'm like, you don't never want to do nothing when you basically push to do it. You don't want, you don't want that feeling. You know what I mean? You do not want that feeling to do things under threat and coerceness. You know what I mean? Stress and duress. You don't want to make no moves underneath stress and duress. And if the grid collapse, if the dollar collapse, if martial law is declared, and all of that other crazy shit, we're going to be dealing with people moving around with stress and duress. They're not going to be doing things because they want to. They're going to be doing things because they have to. And that's not what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about reactionary type shit. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm also talking about a collective of about 30 to 40 people getting together and getting on some land and not leaving that shit. Don't leave the land. Get on them acres and start building that shit out. You feel me? And we got the protection. There's ways to protect yourself these days. So whereas you don't gotta sleep around and be all scary and nervous and whatnot. They got protection. You could set up all type of drones. You could set up all type of aerial defense. You could set up all type of shit to protect yourself. I mean, they got ring cameras on everything these days. So I mean, you do have a layer of security that you might not have had before. But that should happen sooner than later. It's not far-fetched to do something like a Stone Mountain gathering and then getting on a piece of land. Like people gather on, let's say that we gather on Stone Mountain and then 2 hours out or hour outside of Stone Mountain, there's 30 acres just sitting there. There's 20 acres and you could pull up and you could park a trailer and you could pitch a tent and you could just you could start building out. I'm speaking that into existence. I'm planting that seed and whatnot in fertile soil, in fertile soil. I really just want to see our people with relegated nervous systems, without the anxiety. I want to see these mothers get some type of assistant from the community because these children, they need to be around each other. And these mothers need a break so they could get into their bag, so they could get into their creativeness, so they could get into their different income streams and whatnot. Them children is a lot, bro. I promise you. You know what I mean? Don't have a bunch of them. Them children, they a lot, yo. They are requiring a lot of energy. They are requiring a lot of attention. They are requiring a lot of sweat equity. They're requiring a lot of time from the parents, and the children need each other. The children should be rocking with the children, the homeschool ones, and even the ones that are in school and whatnot. Some consensual adults, some like chaperones and whatnot, some teenagers or young adults who are trustworthy. Hold it down, build out a whole barnarium and whatnot, put them in the motherfucking, you know what I mean? If you got land and whatnot, they could be inside of there and they could have a whole prefab home for them. They could have a whole barn for them. They could have a whole barnarium built for them. And then you build a barnarium around, like like how they did in Africa, or how the indigenous tribes over here did with the mounds and whatnot. You got to build a mound, and you build your community around the mound and whatnot. Circular, centrifugal, like a torus and whatnot. We got to bring that shit back, bro. Yeah, I heard about Thailand being lit. Thailand is lit. It's a bunch of places that lit. I just seen one of my brethrens. He basically is moving. He already bought the spot in Thailand. He's going over there in a few months. I want to visit Thailand. I want to visit a lot of places. But you know, I'm what's up with right here? People are. It's Americans on the hamster wheel in America. You feel me? We got to get them off that wheel. You know? So I'm pulling up to Thailand to visit and everything, but I know right now in America, we don't even got a secure land. People already got land, bro. And I know that there's a gathering coming up very soon this summer. And I want to gather, and I don't want to leave. I don't want to go. I don't need to go home. Hear what I'm talking about? I'm ready to thug it out. I'm ready to build something. And then, like I said, it sounds so crazy because it's a super thin line to what it is that we want to do off grid, building and everything, and this bullshit with this nature boy shit. You know? Imagine trying to get a loan and be like, yeah, I'm trying to get a loan and whatnot. I want to go ahead and I want to live in nature and whatnot. You know, I got 3 wives and shit. That nigga at State Farm, what's the bank that they what's the bank that they be going to with the credit line and everything? Them niggas gonna be looking at you like, excuse me? You want what now? Say that again. Say that again and say that into this recorder. Say you want to do what, brother? You want to live in nature with your wives? Okay, yeah. Do you happen to have Hulu? Yeah, Capital One, all them places with the Navy Federal and all of that shit. Yeah, you better be careful. But it's an ongoing conversation. Don't let this conversation. This is not the first time, and it won't be the last time that we talk about this. You know me. When my brain gets active, I start going into my Rolodex and putting shows together and whatnot. But we're gonna continue this conversation. We are gonna entertain this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, because boy, oh boy, you know, as the world turns, things are gonna be changing for the better. But I just want you to know, and I'm not trying to fearmonger you, but you know that I talk about Palantir a lot. I don't know if people understand what this company is and what this company is into and what they be out here doing and whatnot. But they are the company that is watching everybody right now. Okay. They have all of the contracts, they got the technology. So before, when I told people that they out here locating people and whatnot, they out droning niggas, right? They droning people because they know where your location is based off of the fact that they got you rigged up. They tracking people and whatnot. So when you hear about the drones hitting people or ICE running down on niggas and whatnot and stuff like that, that's Palantir sometimes. So they got satellite and drone imagery. There's certain people that have satellites locked in on them. You know that the satellite could see your aura, right? You know that the satellite could see not only your thermal signature, but they got satellites that could see your aura. There's certain people that have satellites that are locked in on them. It don't matter where they go, the satellite is following them. And they got people that's being followed by drones every day and they don't even know it and whatnot. Please understand. They also got the healthcare data. So they got everybody, they got people's data records and whatnot. The healthcare systems. So if anything happens with the Jabberwocky, if anything happens where they trying to make these lockdowns happen, understand that these people are going to be front and center with the tracking and the tracing. Financial activity, money signals and whatnot, they all up in your money. They all up in your wallets. You know what I'm saying? They out there tracking banking activity. They know who owns Bitcoins, shit like that, right? These are these Lord of the Ring fanatics. These are these Lord of the Ring fanatics, y'all. These are the Lord of the Ring fanatics, right? This is their lore. Lord of the Rings is their lore, but they've taken the lore of fantasy and they're applying it in real life. So they're gassing up all of their workers and whatnot. They got their workers inside of a fantasy world feeling like that they're taking out orgs and whatnot. They got their workers in a fantasy world at Palantir feeling like they're in a motherfucking movie or a video game. Okay? That's not a question about what are we going to do about it. There's nothing that you could do about it. That's not even a question worth asking about what are we going to do about it. What are you talking about? This is just the world. There's nothing to do about the world. It's the world. You live in it. There's nothing to do about the world. You know what I mean? What do you mean? Like, if you were selling drugs, I would tell you to stop selling it. If you was out here killing people, I would say, stop killing them. But you don't really got nothing to worry about. This, I'm just showing you the world. There's nothing to say about what to do about it. There's nothing to do about the world. You've been living in the world. The world been had this shit. This is just a latest iteration of what you call the machine. This is the machine. This is the Matrix. What are you talking? What do you mean? Like, this is the Matrix. This just it's about understanding and knowing that the Matrix exists. You know, the devil convinced people that he didn't exist. You know, the devil convinced man that they did not exist. You know, but we are in a great place. You know what I'm saying? We not focused on none of these things, but it's definitely worth noting. You know, it's always worth noting. We got people in our communities that know how to hack. They're like security, but they won't even say a word. They're quiet. They be in the cut. They don't talk. They're not building no tools and whatnot to help our people hack our way out of this shit. So we got to come to the rescue again. You know, we got to come to the rescue again and you know, do the thinking. We got to do the heavy lifting. I would love somebody from the community that does security and IT and everything. I would love for them to get up here and tell us about Palantir. But have they got on the internet and told you about them? No. You know? So we got to give you the heads up because you're hearing about Palantir a lot. People are telling you to buy their stocks. They treating this company like it's a favorable company. And I'm letting you know that this is Skynet. This is Skynet. And this is not to be this company. I would never invest in them. I wouldn't put $1 into this company. I don't give a fuck how crazy their stocks is going. I would not put a coin. That's like, would you put money in ICE? Would you invest your money in ICE? No, right? That because even though we don't bring morality to the table when it comes to certain things, all money is not good money. All money is not good money. I don't want that money. Nigga, I don't want that money. I don't want to invest in nothing that the CIA is invested in. I ain't doing none of that. I'm good on all that. You know? So yeah. Yeah, you don't trade that ticker. I'm hedging against Palantir. That's what my bread is against. I'm betting against them. I put my money on betting against them. I'm not gonna put my money on betting for them. Like, niggas need to check their minds sometimes. I ain't put my no, you vote with your dollar. That's gonna be recorded and whatnot. I ain't vote. I'm gonna bet against them. I'm gonna hedge against them. So if you want to ask what to do now, well, put your money up against them. That's what you would do. Hedge against them. Go into the stock market and hedge a few $1,000s against Palantir. And the day that they fall, the day that they crash, because they will crash, because this is a crash out company. Look at this nigga looking like Squidward. You know what I mean? He's a mix, he's a mulatto. He's a fucking crash out. I think this nigga was a ballerina or something. He's basically Peter Thiel's do boy. He's a crash out. He's not even he's a placeholder in the company because Peter Thiel is so controversial that he can't be the face of it. He just put homie in there. You know? Okay, so for the brother, yeah, anybody that's into the cybersecurity and all of that, definitely tap in with me, or you could tap in with Spin, and then Spin would let me know and whatnot, or you could just send us an email. Like we literally have a lot to talk about, you know? We really got a lot to build on, and we got opportunities for y'all as well. So yeah, Palantir is a very crash out community. It would be criminal to not warn you, or to not give you the heads up, or to not inform you about who they are, and then you just hear about them in passing randomly and whatnot. But you can't put it into context as to what this company is and what they all about. You know what I mean? And we'll continue more, because I do owe y'all. I owe y'all a IOWAS. I owe y'all a IOWAS series. And IOWAS is an acronym for Artificial Intelligence Weapons as a Service. Artificial Intelligence Weapons as a Service. And that's basically the AI that's out here killing shit. The AI that they went ahead and made weaponized it. The AI that's droning people, you know, that's IOWAS. That's the weaponization of these tools of destruction. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they outside with it. You know what I mean? And they created an environment to whereas in the near future, regular citizens will be protected by drones and robo dogs. It's just gonna come down to that, because that's the new form of warfare. And warfare trickles down into, you know, the communities after the war is over. It trickles down. So somebody said the black community needs more hackers. Yes, we actually have a hackathon coming up. Thank you for reminding me. There's a hackathon coming up in Texas. I believe it's in Dallas. And in these hackathons, we are going to be networking with the white and the black hats. You know what I mean? We bringing everybody out, but we are encouraging all of my techies, my blurs and whatnot, to tap in with us. And yeah, let's get it. Let's get to it. You know what I'm talking about? Let's build. Let's get a round table going. You know what I'm saying? Let's put some resources on the table. We got resources. We working with some things. You know what I mean? And we could all compare notes and get something popping. You know, because that's what it's gonna boil down to that. There's a book that I recommend called Network State, right? And Network State is by an Indian billionaire, and he basically speaks about he kind of like it's almost like he's foreseeing the future, because he's literally talking about the future that we live in right now. And he speaks heavily about the taking your digital crowd and turning and bringing it to the real world. They call it a node. Taking your digital node and transferring it into the physical node. And a great example of that is how everybody found out about Castanet. Castanet got famous inside of regular households. He was already known by the youth, but he became a household name because he did an event in Brooklyn. No, he did an event in Union Square in Manhattan where he was giving away PlayStation 5, right? Think about it. Kai Cenat is humongous in the digital world. He is a cyberspace god, right? But what happens when God walks on the earth? right? What happened when God descends from the cloud and he steps foot on the planet? He could cause a riot. He's going to disrupt everything. That's what you see in I Show Speed going around the Caribbean and Africa, drawing crowds of thousands. He's an internet god. He's a god in cyberspace. And then he stepped down in real life, called IRL, and he causes a riot. That's what happened with Kai Cenat. He first got on the radar of regular people when he did a giveaway in Union Square and caused a riot. Right? He caused a riot. Thousands and thousands and thousands of kids came out and whatnot, and they descended from the digital world, right? Kai Cenat didn't know his powers in the physical 2D world and whatnot. He knew his powers in the digital world, but it wasn't translated into the physical world as of yet until he did a real world event. The real world event showed the world that this nigga got too much power. Any nigga that got that much power, that's you saw immediately they signed his ass up to all of them agencies, and they put all that money on his ass because they looked around and said, no one man should have all that power. That's too much power where you causing riots just by telling people on the internet to meet you somewhere. You feel me? So when we do the Stone Mountain gatherings and whatnot, that's a prime example of stepping down from the clouds, right? Brother Rich, 400,000 subscribers. What would that look like in the real world? You couldn't handle that in the real world. You can't handle 5,000 of us in the real world. They'll start calling out reinforcements and everything. That somebody will get locked up for causing a riot, and they'll be like, you needed a permit in order to bring all of these niggas out. You feel me? And then it's like, damn, all I'm doing is, do I need a permit if I go live and I got 5,000 in the chat? No. So how the hell do I need a permit in the real world? Because the real world is not built to contain the energy of the digital world, or what they call the 3D world. So there is a way to break the real world, but niggas ain't into breaking shit. So I'm not even going to talk about it. But you see it with I Show Speed, and you see it with Kai Cenat, and you see it with the streamers and whatnot, and you see it with the rappers. The rappers before the streamers, the rappers was bringing people out thousands deep and whatnot. Super Bowl weekend and whatnot, All-Star weekend and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? All of that type shit was causing riots. You know what I mean? So the book is called A Network State. You could go and get it and whatnot. And I believe you could get it free for a PDF online. That shit will blow your mind. Go and read that. Go and read that. But that same, so I'm asking you to read it because I'm drawing from that book when I'm building out my worldview. When I'm putting my book together, I'm drawing from that book because that book has a lot of good points to it, because we're gonna have to take the power of what we built up in the digital world and transfer it into the 2D world. We don't need a lot of people. Don't get caught up in all of that. You need too much people. That's too much problems. You only need about 30 to 40 people right now. You know, you only need about 30 to 40 people, and then build out from there and whatnot. You don't need that many people, you know, but the time has come, and that conversation is going to happen, and we're going to entertain that shit, because I feel the same way that y'all are out there feeling. This program is broken. This shit is not, it's not functioning anymore. It's like a claw bot that doesn't work. The system and everything that they set up is outdated. It is played out. And the fact of inflation, the way it is right now, and the fact that shit is getting uber expensive very quick and whatnot, but our hourly rates are not rising up and whatnot. The cost of living is becoming more expensive, but the money is drying up everywhere. So collectively, we all we got. We all we got. So on Wednesday, I'm going to be bringing some of the brothers who I'm going to be in Houston with onto the show, right? So we could begin this conversation about the solutions. Houston, we have a solution. Houston, we have a solution. The good brother Pop Darby, y'all haven't heard from him in a while because he's been in the lab cooking like a woman with two elbows and whatnot. The boy been cooking. Talik Heru, who owns Soul Food Vegan Restaurant, he been cooking, curing people of their parasites, doing big things, curing people of herpes and whatnot, doing big things in Texas. He's like the mayor out there in Third Ward and whatnot. Then of course Spence City, you don't even you already know what it is. Spence City, AI to Acres and whatnot. Nua Minty, he's been building out worlds. He's been making major moves. Then we got our good brother Mansa Isa Muhammad. He's been making super duper big moves. He's been building out worlds and whatnot. He's been connecting things. And then you got your good brother Red Pillar, Know the Ledger 444, 72 Claws, Facts Initiative. He's been doing big things. He's been holding it down. So the first weekend of June, we will be in Houston laying this shit down. We're going to be teaching you about Hermes. We're going to be teaching you about Gemma. We're going to be teaching you about Claude. We're going to be tapping into Mythos. And we got a whole bunch of other technology that we're going to be rolling out. But in Houston, we're going to be learning about AIs to Acres. We're going to be learning about quantum AI. We're also going to be learning how to build a community and how to put things together. Texas will be a great place to get some land because Texas is humongous. In Texas, them boys, are allowed to be strapped up and they not scary like that out there. You know what I'm talking about? They not as scary as they are in other places. Then before we go to Houston, we're going to be in Miami the last weekend of May. All right. The last weekend of May, we're going to have my good brother, Original Black God. Y'all already know what he does when it comes to the AI movies and whatnot, when it comes to the AI visuals, when it comes to going viral. Original Black God is going to show everybody that's a part of this boot camp how to make their own movie and whatnot. Then you got Heru Ofari Atta, that good brother. He's going to show you how to hook up the stocks, how to join the stock market, how to day trade, how to get your mind right, how to get your money right. And he's also going to be bringing the health aspect, teach you how to live longer, how to live comfortable, not how to live uncomfortable with a dis-ease, how to live comfortable, how to be vigorous and whatnot. And then we have another special guest, the soon to be announced. And of course, I'm going to be there and I'm going to be breaking down Open Claw, Claude, and I'm also going to be showing you, along with an Original Black God, how you can make your own movies, how you could actually become a marketing genius using Higgsfield, MCP, CLIs, how to utilize Anthropic, how to utilize Open Claw, and how to utilize quote unquote Hermes agent to become a super duper powerful business mogul. You could go serial entrepreneur, or you could focus on one business, either your service or your product. You could focus on one income stream, or you could focus on multiple income streams. 72 Claws Miami Boot Camp. Be in the building, ladies and gentlemen. And then before that, right, we're going to be giving you Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah, the 10-year anniversary. That is on Memorial Weekend, which is this weekend coming up. Memorial Weekend, I'm going to be online. This is an online only. This is literally for my Patreons that I do every month. This is for my Patreons, but we are inviting anybody else that wants to be a part of this. If you want to be a part of this 10-year anniversary, if you want to see what I'm laying down when we wrap up this whole 10-year anniversary that we got, this 10-year run that we've been on with Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah, I'll see you in the building. All right. That is Memorial Weekend. That's going to be Saturday at 8 p.m. on Zoom only. And then before that, on Tuesday, May 26th, ladies and gentlemen, on the Tuesday right after that, on May 26th, in Atlanta at Spence City headquarters, we have our once a month Techno Bowl with me and Spence City. Special guests will be announced and whatnot. We going crazy on this one. We teaching you how to make your digital clone, and we're going to be tapping into advertising, digital advertising. They don't put flyers and posters up anymore. They don't have street teams like that anymore. But somehow, some way, people are still pulling up to events. People are still selling things. So what is the modality of marketing and advertising these days if they're not doing flyers hand to hand and they're not putting up posters the way that they used to, and they don't have street teams? What the hell replace that? What the heck and play what replace that? Um Digital advertising and something called Meta Business Suite, which was formerly known as Facebook. Meta took over and so did Google. That's why you don't see no goddamn street teams and no flyers anymore, because Meta took all the money and so did Google and whatnot. People are literally putting their budgets on the internet and they're getting results. They're not, believe you me, these companies wouldn't be trillion-dollar companies if what they said that they do don't work. You see how that works? Facebook became a trillion-dollar company, and so did Google when they started to do digital advertising. That's where their money is. You remember, you don't pay them. You're on a free platform, but them niggas is $1 billion. They worth $1 trillion. So they obviously doing some type of exchanges. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? They're a marketplace. So their marketplace is mostly in advertising. That's where the big bag is at. So the good brother Spence City is an expert when it comes to that. He's an expert when it comes to teaching you how you too could be a part of this digital quote unquote rush, this digital gold rush that's taking place right now. So once again, nobody will never say that Red wasn't there for the people. Red wasn't pulling up and teaching. Red was sleeping. He wasn't paying attention when shit was going down. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm pulling up. I'm right here. I'm punching in. Hear what I'm talking about? I'm punching in. Nah, I'm not missing no beats. You know what I mean? Non-stop for damn near 20 years straight. No days off. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that I'm about to land my plane. I want to say thank you for your time tonight. This has been a beautiful episode. Oh, yeah, I want y'all to give us a name. What should be the name of this episode? We are now giving the naming ceremony to the family. Y'all got naming rights. You get the opportunity to name our next couple of shows. So thank you, Kafunya, for holding it down and whatnot. You know, I always appreciate you. Anybody that has a name for this episode, we will gladly be open to your suggestions. If we don't find a name, we just gonna, we don't have a problem with choosing names. We'll have to choose our own one, but we definitely want to put the power in the hands of the KT aliens, because y'all be doing a lot. You know what I mean? Y'all be holding it down. So Meta is $1.55 trillion. So you heard it from you know what I mean? Like, let's talk about it. 1.55 trillion. Nvidia is 5 trillion or 4 trillion, I think. What the fuck? What the hell? We talking big dollars. You know? So let's just say that we lock in, we develop some type of an economic collective system. And keep in mind, let me say something real quick. We live in the age of the blockchain. We live in the age of the open ledger. We live in the age of smart contracts. So the trust economy is stronger than it's ever been. This is not money in a shoebox type of raising of capital. This is blockchain, open ledger, crypto, meaning that the shit will be safe. If one penny gets spent, it's an open ledger. You get to see that. You feel me? So we're talking about smart contracts where the money is like an escrow. It doesn't even get touched. It's in a liquidity pool. And it's not tied. It's in a stable coin. It's not tied into no shit coin. So if a coin crashes, you go broke. Nah, stable coin, my ninja. Stable. AKA shit is good. Shit is stable. You okay. But collectively, we're going to have to level the F up. And it's not going to be just my voice. This is an orchestra. This is a symphony of voices. It ain't about my voice. It's about all of our voices. I don't want to be the chief. That word chief is triggering me these days. Shout out to the chiefs and the chiefstesses and whatnot. And there's some honorable stand-up chiefs and chiefstesses out there. I know a few of them. So I don't even I hate it that that title is even being soiled, because all you hear through the documentary with your boy Eligio is, yeah, that's the chief this, chief that. You know? No. The blockchain. No, the blockchain is just where the contracts live. The blockchain is a secure ledger, maybe until we get a quantum blockchain. But what the blockchain is the blockchain is the way that you restore trust in your community or in your organization, because of the security layers of the blockchain. That's why the blockchain is being adapted by the banks, is being adapted by government, is being adapted, and there's multiple blockchains. There's all type of blockchains, but blockchains are considered to be a new layer of security, so people can now not feel like they could get jerked on some Stormy Wellington type stuff, where you deal with one of these shady characters and they run off with your money. You know what I mean? Remember the Susu in 2020 when everybody had the Susus and they was getting booked and whatnot? They probably could not do that if they knew how to work the blockchain. They wouldn't get away with that if they knew how to work the blockchain. So yes, Susu economics and some new forms of economics need to come back. If not in this community, I just need to see it being worked. At the end of the day, it don't even gotta be on this community if y'all not ready, because everybody not ready for shit. I just want to see it being worked, because to have it and to not work it, that's the real crime. You know what I'm talking about? Imagine being in a shootout and it was a whole trunk full of guns and you never popped the trunk. Like the insanity is on levels like that. Imagine you was in a cartel type shootout and there was a whole trunk full of ARs and all type of shit, and you didn't even pop the trunk. That's the level of insanity that we're at right now as a community, where there's mad tools on the table, it's mad guns in the trunk, and y'all won't even pop it. And they shooting, believe you me, the nigga, they shooting. You can hear the shots, but you won't pop the trunk. So one day you will. One day that trunk will get popped, you know what I mean? And yeah, we'll be here for that. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will get back at you. Techno Tuesdays, Spin City, that's coming up. You know what I'm talking about? Peace, love, and light to the family. Imaginarium is coming up. Our last session is going to be on Friday. Our last session for Imaginarium. Shout out to everybody that endured the 90-day boot camp. Let's go with a word from our sponsors, and then we will see you mañana.
Visa in my cup, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by steam moss. Flow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Run it up, 99 minerals, flaws. Visa in my cup, I'm feeling right. Sip to the sunrise, dance to the night. From the ocean's kiss to your city lights. 21 flavors, pure health in every bite. Drip so clean, we're custom made. From reef to street, we elevate. Gold green gel, set the record straight. Nature in a bottle, that's a better way. Charge me up, no caffeine crash. Clean energy, steady splash. From skin to gut, yeah, we live from within. Wellness on 10, let the rhythm begin. Pour it up, pour it up. Feel the wave, body thanking me. Every save, ocean wisdom in this glass. We sell magic, see moss. We sell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by steam moss. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. Island breeze in the city maze. We're mineral rich in 1,000 ways. Immunity high like the summer rays. Hydrate the hustle, fuel your days. Berry, mango, ginger, lime. Pick your flow, your flavor, your time. Beauty and balance we redefine. Every little sip, align your shine. Word up, feel the way, body thanking me. Every sip, ocean wisdom in this glass. We sell magic, see moss. We sell in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, floss. From the coral choir to the heartbeat drum. Roots run deep where the wild tide hum. Real ones know where the glow comes from. We sell in the mix now, watch us.
Imaginarium, the yellow brick roads are unlocking codes, connecting nodes on this silk road. El Claudel collecting silk robes. The 44 gods wrote the 48 laws, and now we invoked and invoking the 42 claws. The return of the sunburnt moors, northwest of Maxim Tours. Open claw, open sesame, we open the doors. Now it's tokens galore, rubber bands on the floor. 100 grand on the left hand of the mall. We in the land of the Moors, we claiming every corridors. From Atlantis to the shores of Florida to the mounds of Mississippi. This is the sound of the inner city, home of the gritty. From the neighborhoods where the clowns were shitty and the crown was on Nipsey. The marathon continues, we won't stop this campaign until we take back all of our towns. All 60 in the meantime, I'm on GitHub, getting to the money, running swiftly, you get me? They tried to say the best nation wasn't your imagination. Fam, are you kidding me? Fam, are you shitting me?
Generator, one mind, builds whole worlds. Operator, you don't enter worlds, you design them. Destroyer.
They ain't just steal stories, they lock the bloodline. Operator, step through it. Rewrite the world they gave you. Destroy the illusion. Take your mind back.
Blueprints in a planetarium. Imaginarium. Blueprints in a planetarium.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, here the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like porch lights. The meek shall inherit the earth. Oh yeah, they're scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls. Niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft. Yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft. And then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Best.
Crumb TV.